honestly your question, if possible. If we can give you a good answer, if not, maybe those out there who have practical answers for you. So I'm going to share screen with you now. First of all, I'd like to start with some biblical teaching, a very basic one. There are so much teaching in the Bible about sex, actually. I just want to start with this, saying that sexuality and sex basically is part of God's master plan. Okay? And God created us sexual. Definitely. God created us sexual, both male and female. Now, I'm sure all of us already know, this is nothing new, that male and female are very different, not just physically, but emotionally and so many other aspects. Okay, so we are uniquely created and we are very different. And so God meant us to complement each other, not to compete with each other, okay, nor compare with each other, but really to complement each other. Now, okay, so I need to look at my notes, just in case I miss out anything. Now, I some time ago, I heard JP, I think when I say JP, all of you know it's referring to Joseph Prince. I heard him preach about men and women. I mean, I just remember scatteringly, he says that, we men like the outdoor. So we like to go camping. We like to be dirty. It's okay. Why? Because we are from the dust. So that's why the dust is very natural to us. Well, as a woman, you ask them to go camping. You ask my wife, you like camping?
No, thank you.
So that's what she always tell me. I always ask her to, hey, come lah, let's go camping. She say, no, thank you. Because she don't like the sweat. She don't like the dirt. And of course, she likes the comfort of the home. So why? Simply because female is created from, okay, the so to say, the rib. Okay, I mean, we won't go into detail. So the man says that you are the bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Okay, let's read the Bible together from Genesis 1:26. It says this, and this is basically the first thing that God said to man after he created man. Okay, so God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and over all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image, and in the image of God, he created them, male and female. Okay, that's right. There is male and female, no such thing as in between. So basically, God created us sexual beings. Okay, so each one of us have different sexuality. All right. Now, so basically, when we talk about sexuality and sex, we are talking about the physical side of us. Okay, so sex is about the physical love, and obviously, sex or physical love is God's plan and a gift for us. Okay, it's something beautiful, something good, something wonderful, but it has to be put in the right context and the right place. Okay, so let's read the Bible again. This is, just now I say, the first thing God said to man is that this gift is for procreation. Okay, let's read the Bible. Say, and in Genesis 1:28, then God says, God blessed man and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. So God saw all that he had made. Okay, that's the last two things he made is man and woman. And the first thing he told them is go and have sex. That's literally right. Be fruitful and increase in number. So sex, or the physical expression of love between a man and a woman, joined together by marriage. Okay, in that sense, God performed the first marriage when he brought Eve to Adam. We're going to read that in chapter 2 of Genesis. So the first thing we read in the Bible is to tell them to go and have sex so that you can procreate and fill the earth. Okay, and then God says what? It was very good. Okay, so that's the context of our subject. So sex is very good. So sex is, okay, not just for procreation, because we read on in Genesis chapter 2 that sex is also for pleasure. Okay, let's read Genesis chapter 2. And verse 18, it says, then God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. Okay, I will make a helper suitable for him. So the word helper is, a strong word for friend, okay, in a way similar. Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. You see, God brought all the animals to man, but man found none of them suitable to be his helper and companion. Okay, so whatever the man called each living creature, that was his name. So you see, before God created woman, God brought all the animals to Adam, but I think Adam rejected them as his close companion. So they say something that really can satisfy him and help him and be complementary to him and complement him and so on. So man gave names to all the livestock and birds in the sky and all the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found among all these animals. So then what? So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. Now, this is what the man says. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. Now, this is the biblical comment that says, that is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united with his wife. Now, this word united is, the primary is more about joining together in terms of our emotion, our soul, and so on, to be in oneness. But in that, the secondary meaning can also mean, the physical union or physical intimacy or sex, and they become one flesh. Okay, so that's basically the meaning I read. Okay, now so Adam and his wife were both naked. You see, so they see each other's different sexuality. They recognize each other sexually different, but there was no shame, because there shouldn't be any shame between a husband and a wife. Okay, so that is the context of our, so to say, Bible study tonight. And so let's move on. Okay, so sexuality is about us, different but complementing each other. Okay, comparable to each other in many ways, but complementing each other, in most ways. Now, sex is physical love and is part of God's plan and a gift for us for procreation, but also not just to make babies, but more so for our pleasure. Now, of course, the question is, how can we maintain a healthy sex in marriage? Because we know along the way, man has fallen. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, sorry. So along the way, I should have deleted the slides above, but this is the right slide. Okay, along the way, Adam and Eve, they fell, okay, or they sinned, and because of that, the perfect gift that God gave to man, that is the sex, that the gift of sex that God gave to man, it is also corrupted. So there is problems now to a healthy sex in marriages because of our fallen nature, okay, our fallenness. So one of the most biggest problem I see and I read in the Bible is our self-centeredness or selfishness. Okay, and the Bible name it the pride of life. Okay, the Bible call it the pride of life. And then of course the Bible also mentioned in what I believe in 1 John the lust of the eyes and the lust of the flesh, okay, and the pride of life. So because of this fallen nature that we now have, or we took on from the fallen Adam, so we bring along these problems into our marriages, and also it create problem in our sexual life. Okay, so what are some of the problems? So very often, sex is about lust and not love. Okay, so there's a big difference between lust and love. Okay, lust is an activity, is something physical you want to do, but love is about intimacy. Sex is sex. The good gift of sex is about being close and be united with the one you love in a very special way. Okay, not just physically, but also emotionally, and so it is not just a body, but it's also a soul thing. That's why for people who involve in sex outside of marriage, they say you bring a lot of you created soul ties, unconsciously, and you will create problems for your life. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Maybe for those who may want to discuss this, maybe we can take it out of this session, because it's a very big subject altogether. I remember Pastor Peter mentioned it in his sermon two weeks ago, I think. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Okay, then the next one is because of our fallen nature. So sometimes, we do not recognize our sexuality. Okay, so normally, I would say men have more sexual desire than women. Okay, so the woman makeup of a female is that their desire for sex is normally their most fertile time. Okay, during the time when the egg is released, okay, from their ovum, right? Is that the right word? Ovary, sorry. The ovum is the egg, sorry. Okay, so it is during that short period of time, maybe about two days, that they most desire sex. Because don't forget, God created us to procreate. So that's why God put us in the woman, okay, so that they have this desire, okay, or people call it, so to say, animal instinct, okay. But for men, okay, their eggs are ever ready. They keep building up, okay. So that's why they always have the urge. They are always, so to say, hot. Okay, anyway, now because of that, sometimes men feel that there's not enough, or they are not satisfied. I mean, there are a lot of problems. Okay, so I have a question to ask here. Okay, so move to the next slide. I have a question to ask there, and I think I didn't put these slides on. I think it's somewhere. Okay. No, it's not here. Okay. Wait.
After that, to go backwards.
Oh, okay. Maybe go. Sorry. Can we go back? Go back to the previous slides. Okay. Now I say there's lack of sex. Okay. And I have a question to ask. Okay. So my slides was arranged wrongly. So we go to this slide. Okay, so could the lack of sex in marriage create unhappiness and frustration? And because of that, so it will be wrongly used as a justification for infidelity. Okay, so I like people out there who is watching. Can you maybe type in your answer? I just want to see how many yes and how many no, or how many, say, okay, what's your answer? Okay, I give you 30 seconds to quickly type in your comments, and then John can help us to just quickly see what's the response like.
Just one yes, just one, 2 yeses.
Okay, I think the 30 second is almost up. Okay, anyone else like to respond? I think it's good to be listening to you as well. Now, so could the lack of sex in marriage create unhappiness? I would say more yes than no, or unless, both mutually agree, say, oh, it's okay, we don't need it, And then could lack of sex create frustration? Yes, especially to the party. I won't say male, because sometimes it could be a female, to the party that desire it, and then the other party, say no. Actually, don't think that it's only men needs it, because I have heard from a lady who says this guy is useless, he got no energy. After a while, say no stamina, So anyway, she was very frustrated, and she was sharing with me. I'm not sure whether Veronica was there.
I don't know.
You don't know. She don't know who. So anyway, it wasn't meant as a joke. She shared it out of frustration. Okay. Now then, could it be wrongly used as a justification for infidelity? Now, some people would use that. Now, actually, sex and the lack of it, or wrong expectation of it, actually could lead to problem. Now, I believe that many of us have heard of Ravi Zacharias. I do not want to go into detail. Now, those of us who are in the know, I look upon him as someone that I do look upon him because he's a very clever man, and he has helped me a lot. I still listen to his teaching because of his good knowledge in and then his very wise apologetics. Apologetic is knowing what you believe and why you believe. So I look to him for answers to a lot of things. But of course, what happened to him was a very, very big disappointment for many in the Christian world. So anyway, and part of it, some people say it could be because he was denied, or because of his so much traveling, he was not with his wife, so he had to look for an outlet. But whatever it is, sex is meant in the Bible. Sex is radically exclusive for married partner. Okay, and there is no apologies to that. Okay, let's read this verse from 1 Corinthians 7:3. Okay, it says, "Let the husband render to his wife," it's okay, "the affection due her, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Do not deprive one another except with consent for a time, that you may give yourself to fasting and prayer and come together again, so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control." So in the Bible, we read that, yes, okay, Satan can use the lack of it, the frustration of it, as an excuse, for one party to commit sin. So in this, just very quickly to summarize, this was, I think you Juan didn't mention much, but I want to say this. Husband and wife, both of us have the duty to minister to each other. I use the word minister, to serve each other, to help each other, sexually, physically, okay? So that is, if you look at it, some people call it duty sex. But no, sex is not about a duty you perform, okay? Sex is about, all right, it's more about intimacy. All right. If it's about a duty, then I think we miss the whole point. Then you miss out the whole point of God's giving you something that you can enjoy, mutually. Now the question is, how can we, really enjoy our sexual life? Okay. Now, actually, I believe some of us out there may have problems. Okay, but let's go backwards. The slides, yeah, because that's okay. So how to work together for better sex? Okay, so now the question is there sex beyond babies, beyond procreation? I think you all have seen the answers earlier on. Yes, because sex is also created or given by God for our pleasure, to unite us not just physically, to enjoy our bodies mutually, but also to enjoy our, our soul, so now, so it is part of our expression of intimacy to unite our body and soul. It's something that I'm not very good in I try to read much, but somehow I just do not know how to express it. But when we are physically intimate, somehow there is something that block out everything, and I feel so close with my wife, So, and there is so much joy in this intimacy because it is immensely enjoyable. And I always, I use this term, okay, I know sometimes I think we all Asians very, very shy to express. But I express this to my wife, and maybe you like to use what I say. I say, this is one of the best thing in my life. As far as I'm not sure about my Veron, but I told her this is one of the best thing in my life, that I can enjoy with you. And it's honestly true. And I always appreciate her for that, So you ask me, do we have a good sexual life in our marriage, a sex life in our marriage? I'm looking at her. Is she shy to tell you? But as far as I'm concerned, yes, we are enjoying a good physical love life together, and of course, there are a lot of challenges, and we also have problems. I won't say we don't have problems, because in our early years of marriage, Veron faced a lot of, I won't say a lot, some problems. She was very uncomfortable, and I felt very guilty. I don't know how to handle it, So, and she don't look forward to it because it was not comfortable for her. And maybe to a certain extent could be painful. So I have to make a lot of adjustment, try to help her. But anyway, if you want to talk about it, I think it's better to let her share later on, because I'm going to give her some time to share. Now, so because of this intimacy, we need to protect and guard against temptation so that we can minister to each other sexually. Okay, so now we can move on to how and why and how, the how. How to have a better, how to have not a better, how to have better sex in our marriage. Okay, so grammar mistake there. So won't be a better, I believe it'll be many, many good times together. So how can we work together for better sex? Okay, now before I move on, I like to play us a video clip. Okay, so Ron is helping me to find the video clip and play it. Okay, it's all ready. Play.
Wait, I know, but I need to.
In the last year, I have attempted to make love to you 365 times. I succeeded 36 times. This averages once every 10 days. And the following is a list of reasons why I did not succeed. It's too hot, 15 times. It's too cold, 3 times. I'm too tired, 19 times. It's too late, 16 times. It's too early, 9 times. Pretending to sleep, 35 times. I'm not in the mood, 21 times. Mind my hair, 28 times. Is that all you think about? 83 times.
Okay, give me a thumbs up. Some of you have experienced what is shared there. Okay, both wife and husband can give a thumbs up. If the wife, we have said some of those or given those excuses, but of course some of those are genuine reasons, not excuses. But if you have given those, give a thumbs up. Jonathan, any thumbs up coming in?
Right.
Can't see. Oh yeah, there's one thumbs up from the lady.
How many
Yeah.
of you out there only one thumbs up?
Only one. Oh, another one has a smiling face. So just one thumb.
Okay, no problem. Now I like to, I mean, the question is how can we as couples, as marriage, husband and wife, have better sex in our marriage? Okay, I think communication is the key. I mean, being brought up as an Asian, I think all of us know it is something that we don't talk about easily. We hardly talk about. We do not want to talk about it because maybe, I think especially the guys, because maybe as guy there is this ego. We do not want to admit that we are, maybe a failure in the bed or whatever. So I mean, so I want to say this again and then emphasize again, if you all have not talked about sex as a couple openly and honestly, I pray that maybe you can start sometime tonight. Okay, now I like to pass to Veron to just share something about communication. Okay, not just about sex, but in a general way.
So just want to make sure again that our audience are of the adults only, so that we use the right terms lah. So no young children there lah, huh? Jonathan, no young children,
It's okay.
I've already put it in the chat that hopefully there are no under 18s, but then it will be up to the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I think I want to just also assure everyone that if you have problems with communication, it's not something to be worried about, in a sense, because you can always work towards it. But the other thing is that even for us, a long married couple, we communicate, but there are also many areas where we are still working on. And actually, we always share this with couples that we have marriage counseling with, because this is so real. It is always assumed. I think before I go on, a thought just dropped into my mind earlier, and I believe the Holy Spirit dropped into my mind, is that, when the Bible says the two shall be one, you're basically very, very much one being. And it's very strange if you don't understand yourself. Like you don't communicate with yourself. You don't know what you're going to do next. So it is even to that extent, sometimes we are one, but we are not one with our partners. So some years back, I think at least I would say this is 20 years after we got married, at least. I think then only I discovered one day that we had this big miscommunication regarding our physical life. So, as usual, I think amongst married couples, not surprising that you have fights. So we do have our fair share of fights. But I noticed something very strange, that each time after having a fight, Alan will initiate and would want to have some intimacy. And sometimes I just, ignore him and just give an excuse, roll my eyes, and I'm not over being angry yet. But one day I was very upset with him, because it's like this is happening once too often, and I actually scolded him. I say, you are like a block of wood, what's wrong with you? I mean, how can you suggest and ask to be intimate after we had this big fight and I'm not even cooled down yet, and I might have said this, but I'm not sure whether I did. But I know it was to the point of like, you have not even apologized and you want to be intimate. It's like, what's wrong with you? And it was only then that he communicated that to him, it is his way of telling me that he loves me, because he is not repulsed to the point that he does not want to be physically intimate. He's not repulsed by our fight. And I was so shocked, because I never thought about it that way. And this is just to show you how it is so important to communicate, because I looked at him as an insensitive piece of wood. But to him, it was showing me that, hey, you know, I know we fought, but I love you so much, and I show you that I love you so much by the intimate. That's like that is the most important thing to me. So I think that is a big lesson that we learned, and I felt that it was important, so important that we always share with the people that we speak with or share with during couples before they get married. So I give the time back to Alan.
Okay. Now what Veron just shared is about the love language. So I think I believe most of us know our wives or spouse love language now. So when you want to communicate, love to your spouse, or I think you must use their love language. So in what Veronica shared, so I was communicating with my love language. So my love language is more physical touch. Her love language is more, doing things for her and spending quality time with her. So anyway, let's come back. So, but in the context of this communication, we are talking about the couple must communicate regarding their sexuality and their sexual experience with each other. So how to help each other to journey and navigate through life, to enjoy their sexual life better. Okay, so communication is very key. So let's move on to the next key thing. So we need to, in our communication, we need to share and correct, okay, our desires and expectation. I think it's okay. I think like now, both my wife and myself now, I'm past 60. She's,
58.
she's in her menopause already, right? So haven't had period for
1 year.
over a year. So people say, oh, so now no need to have sex. Actually, no, we still enjoy sex, But of course, the desire I used to have as a young man, now compared to me as a young man, it's different. And so we need to communicate that. And of course, the expectation, I think is definitely important to make sure we correct our expectation of each other. So for example, when a lady or a female is in the menopause, it's very difficult unless you use some lubrication or something like that, or unless the male have a lot of what do you call that? Okay, better not be explicit. Okay, I think you understand. Now at the same time, I'm just thinking aloud for those who are single here tuning in, and those who are sort of lost your spouse. Well, I just beg your pardon for what we are sharing. But anyway, let's quickly move on. The next thing I like us to learn to do to have better sex in our marriage life is to learn to make plans. Okay, so learn to seduce each other or flirt with each other. Okay, make plans in that sense. So now some of us live in a small house with many people, so that's why you may need to take a break to enjoy. I don't know, find a time where there are less people around, less noise or whatever. So make plans and make good plans. Okay, I think I don't need to go into details. I believe you understand. Now, I think this one is more for the person who have less desire. All right. So you are the person with less desire, I think, and you share it. Then I put it to you, taking from 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Don't take it as a duty, but take it as, something that you can enjoy and want to enjoy, by initiating sex more often. Okay? So speaking to those who have less desire, it could be husband or wife. Okay, I don't know. Now, then the next important thing I believe I do myself a lot is to take good care of yourself. Hey, guys, so you see Uncle Alan, not because I'm vain, okay? I exercise not because I'm vain, because I believe that my body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, okay? I don't overdo it, but I try to take good care of my health and my body. And of course, it is for my wife too. And actually, when I take good care of myself, I think my testosterone level, I think I know it didn't drop too much. I'm still very strong and healthy, okay? And not that, and actually I'm quite proud of it. So I want to encourage all of you, ladies and gentlemen, please take good care of your body, of how you look, okay? Yeah, don't be drab about your dressing, and don't be too chin-chai, okay? So try to once a while surprise your spouse with something sexy lah, something surprising, okay? So sometimes my wife do give me good surprises and I like it. Okay, anyway, the next thing is learn what your partner likes and dislike. I think I should put the dislike also. Okay, I think this is to be sensitive. I think sensitive is the word. I think we need to communicate that also. Now, if you never communicate to your partner about your dislike and likes, I think you better start. Okay, so this is something that sometimes, you know, like what Ron shared, you know, I never tell her that you know, after quarrel, I initiate sex with her, not because, you know, I want it desperately, because I just want to tell her that, hey, you know, I still love you. No matter what, I still want you. Okay. And of course, on my side, maybe I want to tell her that, you know, having this intimacy, okay, bring us closer together again to help us. I mean, maybe that time she don't realize, to help me forget about all the, you know, what has happened before. Okay. And then it will be a new start. Okay. So, anyway, let's move on to one of the last thing I want to share is avoid comparison. So don't tonight say, you look at Pastor Alan and Auntie Veron, ayo, please don't quote us and compare us with, you know, whoever you are with. So I think comparing, you know, look at the people dress up so nicely, why you, please, okay, rather learn to love each other. Okay, from 1 Corinthians 13, we're going to come together, come together to study 1 Corinthians 13. I think one of the last thing, as I said, to have better sex in our marriage is to learn to practice 1 Corinthians 13. This is not in my notes because I think all of us know 1 Corinthians 13 very well. Say, love is patient, love is kind. I won't go through the whole thing. This is basically that sex is patient. Sex is kind. It is not self-seeking. So you can go on. It is gentle and so on and so forth. So remember to practice, okay, sex in your marriage in the context of 1 Corinthians 13. Okay. Now I will stop here and take question from here. So as I give 20 minutes for question and answer.
Okay, people, if you want to type in your questions in the chat box, that will be fine. I'll read them out so that Pastor Alan and Veron would have some time to formulate the answer. And you can send your question directly to me if you don't want your name to be known.
Yeah, and I won't say that I know all the answers. Okay, I will answer honestly if we have such experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If no questions, we are also very happy. If you are shy to ask, no problem.
You can always phrase it that your friend wanted to know.
Okay, anyway, it is a very big topic. I want to mention focus in the family. During my reading, you know, I went to the Focus in the Family. They have lots and lots of topics on this. I mean, lots and lots of articles on this topic in many areas.
Focus on the family.
Yeah, Focus on the Family. So I will encourage you all to maybe go to Focus on the Family and read up some of the articles there, which
Website,
is
is it?
their website. And I find some of them very helpful. I haven't read all, but I read a number, and I find that they are very practical and helpful.
So the URL is just focusonthefamily.com.
Yeah, I think you just search Focus on the Family, will come up. The US website. I think
Alright.
the international website.
Mhm. Okay, folks, focusonthefamily.com.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, looks like all of us are very Asian. We normally very shy about asking such question. And so I don't know whether I mean, you asked me to talk about it. It's also not easy, but I decided I will do it because I hope that we can bless some people out there. And so
Yeah, that's not a question. There is a comment. Yeah, that we are Asians, therefore we don't ask questions on this particular topic. But some people may just want to need a few more minutes to formulate their questions. Yeah, so perhaps you can wait a while more.
no problem. We can wait a while more.
Come on, folks, it's going to be pretty boring if we all sit here and look at the screen.
I want to also just comment that it is getting more and more common for even the younger couples to actually face difficulties because of pressure of life and stresses of work lah. So I find that I hear maybe in the past older people don't talk about it. It seems to me that it's a bigger problem now, but I may be very wrong because, like I said, people may not have been talking about it. But I think it is very important to go and get help medically, or even to speak to a counselor, because sometimes it's just a stress, and stress really affects our body very much.
Yep.
So if there is difficulty in in intimacy because of physical issues, then definitely seek help, because it's not something that you should be embarrassed about, because it affects you, it will affect the relationship.
Yeah.
So there's a question. So Doris, perhaps you can unmute your microphone and ask the question if you find it too long to type it on.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to say something about what Sharon Veron was mentioning, but this is on the not the younger couples, but I think for the elderly, those as they are approaching in years, sometimes medically, physically, it can be actually related to certain medical requirements, and and I think for us Asian, I think I think basically a lot of Asians in particular is that they actually feel very shy to reach out. And like what Veron said, that it entails to seek a medical opinion or even counseling, I think it's always good, because otherwise you will see that it will actually lead to a lot of frustration, and in the end it creates actually stress in the marriage itself. So that was also what I was trying to comment here. Not just only on the younger couples, but also on the those who as they pass a certain age, and like what Pastor Alan is saying, they compare when they're young and now, and then you get actually more wiser, things have changed. But if people do not reach out or too shy to seek a medical opinion, then it's always, goes down to like guilt ridden and things like that, and it actually will disrupt the whole marriage. So that is just one comment I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Doris. Yeah, I want to just make this comment, which I mean, didn't get into it. I think Ron started it by saying, yeah, some of us do need help. What I shared could be, can sound simplistic, but actually there may be couples who have problem not because of their liking or doing, but because of the environment, because they are so busy, so stressed out. And then if you have young children, young family, all this adds on to, and then it affect your intimacy, so to say. So I think it's something that I think we Asians are not used to going to seek help. Now, I think I just want to say this. I want to plead with all of us out there. I think we shouldn't take the problem up and on our own. If we have a community of people who is, ready to shoulder your burden. Okay. So when we have a problem, I think the Bible teaches, let's help each other by sharing your problem. I think if you have something good, you can also share with your community. I think basically this is something I would love to encourage all of us in TNCC to be more open about it. Okay, of course, you don't go and tell everybody, you go to, I believe in our church, all the 8 pastoral couples, I dare to say they have, inverted comma, very happy marriages. And I would say, part of the happy marriages, part of it is they have happy sexual life, okay, happy sex life in their marriage. So I believe any of the couples in church can help you, not necessarily us. Okay, so I want to encourage, if anyone out there, if you find that this is not a good platform, do reach out to us, and we like to shoulder your problem and walk with you. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks for that, Pastor Alan. Still have time.
I see Pastor Vincent here, Pastor Heng here, Pastor who else? So maybe you'd like to share something with no question.
You have been named Pastor Vincent, Pastor Heng, Pastor Sam.
Because just now I make a statement about you all, so
Comments. Hang on. Sorry, there's a couple of things in the chat.
Pastor Winston wants to say something.
okay, Vincent, over to you. Unmute.
Yeah.
Well, Pastor Vincent usually asks questions, so
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, can't talk now, Vincent.
we shall not elaborate.
I think one of the also a very real issues that causes stress in terms of to ladies' lives, that the fear of an unplanned pregnancy lah. That is quite a big stress. So if that's the case, also seek from the proper channels, because it's a very real stress and worry. And it can affect the, physical intimacy for sure.
Pastor Vincent said that he didn't hear the question earlier.
What you said?
It's okay, no problem. Okay, we can have an earlier night. It's not a problem. So looks like, I mean, I expect more questions, but since people are shy about it, so no problem.
Right.
Is Alex around? Alex can make a comment. Alex.
Hi. Yeah, thanks, Alan, for sharing. You have been very open and frank, and even Veron also. So really appreciate your, sharing from your heart, and that this issue is a very important issue for a healthy marriage. So praise God, this is the first time our church is having this kind of dialogue, and if we need help, please reach out to the pastors, and for counseling, for help, and so that we can help each other, because sex is not something that is dirty, or is created by God for us to enjoy, and but the devil has used it to pervert it and make it dirty. That's why. So praise God for this session. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, I think we will call this to an end. So if you can, you are welcome to unmute your microphones, and thank Pastors Ellen and Veron for sharing from their heart on this sensitive subject for Asians. Okay.
Thanks, Pastor Alan. Auntie
Thank you so
Veron.
much, Pastor
Thank you
Ellen
so
and
much,
Veron.
Pastor Alan and
It's good.
night. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone. God bless. See you on Sunday.
Pastor Alan. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jonathan, for
Thanks, John,
hosting.
for hosting. Good job.
Okay, we'll end this now.